So you're interested to find out if the new DJI FPV system is worth your money. Is there such a significant change from analog to digital that makes it worth the money? Hi, I'm Paul from droneskater.com, and this is going to be a review of the relatively new FPV system from DJI. Even if you're not into FPV drones or haven't flown one before, this video could also prove useful for you, as I personally think that FPV drones are the future when it comes to drone cinematography. First of all, FPV stands for first-person view. You can check out my drone term glossary list in the description for a better understanding of more terms. You can learn a lot of stuff about drones in general just by reading this single article. To put it in simple terms, FPV flying makes you feel like you're in the actual cockpit of the drone and you see everything through a pair of goggles like these. However, the video feed you see is generally analog and standard definition. It breaks up a lot if you have obstacles in the way. We needed this so far because it was pretty much the only way to achieve low latency transmission, which is essential for controlling a fast-moving FPV quad. However, as tradition goes, DJI disrupts the industry yet again. They decided to make a system that records and transmits digital signal, increasing obstacle penetration while still keeping the latency low. This is the second revolutionary product that disrupts drone technology in the past couple of months, since the Mavic Mini, which by the way you can see a review of it and a complete comparison between it, the Mavic Air, the Xiaomi Fimi X8 and so on. Mavic Mini being the only drone under 250 grams that has a 3-axis stabilized gimbal and an incredible image quality. I got the package with the goggles, the Airwind with the camera and the transmitter. Everything was neatly packaged as expected from DJI, and it feels really premium quality. I chose to connect it to my Helifar Photon 2, which is an amazing 4S beast of a drone. The air unit consists simply of a camera and a video transmitter. The case is made of durable aluminium that also doubles as a heatsink for cooling, so expect this to get very hot. This entire piece weighs around 53 grams. It's made specifically to fit on most racing quadcopters on the market. The lens is 150 degrees and can record HD video as high as 1080p in 60 fps, as it has a built-in DVR that stores the video in a microSD card slot that's on the side of the device. The camera comes with 3 basic settings when it comes to image adjustments: a standard mode, a racing mode that has brighter colors, and a night mode that makes it easier to track LED lights at night. The air unit comes with 2 antennas in the back with MMCX connectors. These antennas are the only obvious downside of the overall build, as they are easy to lose if you're not careful. You need to tie them really well or put them inside a 3D printed slot so they don't come out. Even if I zip tied them twice, I still managed to lose them somehow.
It was at this moment Jackson knew. He fucked up.
Fortunately, they're like $15 to replace, so it's not such a big loss. You can get individual parts from getfpv.com. Literally, the most eye-catching piece of equipment in this package are the goggles. They look like something Ant-Man would wear, and they would have probably been made by Tony Stark, as they are really good quality. I can see some light getting in from the side, as it's not really made for my narrow face, and some light coming in from the bottom of the nose. So this could be an improvement that DJI can make. They feel solid and really like a professional piece of equipment that's pretty lightweight too. These also have the option to record footage that you see in the goggles directly in 720 and 120 frames per second. A thing you'll notice right away are the 4 omnidirectional antennas mounted using RP SMA connectors that can be upgraded if you want. The goggles come with some of the following features: an anti-fog cooling fan, the IPD adjustment system, USB-C port, a built-in DVR that we talked about. Power is supplied by a cable that has an XT60 connector, so you can power it with a 2S LiPo battery, but I did use a 3S one in this case. You also have an easy-to-access button for recording, the back button, joystick control for the menu, side buttons to change the channels, and a channel display with LEDs that can display up to 8 channels. All the buttons and switches have a nice tactile feeling, and I have no complaints in terms of design either. The most stunning feature of these goggles is the large and wide screen that makes you feel like you're in a cinema, instead of the smaller field of view goggles we've been used with so far. If you plan to buy these separately, this is the most expensive equipment. However, you're not gonna crash this, so it's gonna last for a long time. The radio controller came with the package I got, but frankly it's optional to use if you already have another radio that you like. I thought I won't use it as I usually use my Tyrannus X Lite instead. But oh boy was I wrong. I absolutely love how the sticks feel on this transmitter. Some people think they are too loose, but I think they're way better than anything I've tried before and make the flying experience that much better. This is coming from someone who would have doubted buying this transmitter in the first place. Here's some good things about this transmitter. First of all, you don't need a separate receiver, as it's integrated with the camera module. The 4 km range for both video and radio with 8 people flying at the same time. The gimbals feel really good and come with the height adjustments by twisting and locking them into place. It's easy to access the menu and change the VTX settings through the buttons. The gimbals are on par with the Hall sensor gimbals from FR Sky, if not better in terms of ergonomics, and this is a total win. By the way, the maximum range of 4 km is only in FCC mode, so 800 mW. However, it's quite simple to increase the range and put it in FCC mode. If you want to see how to do it, go out in the description and check my full article review on these goggles and FPV system, and you'll find out at the bottom how to do it. So now let's talk about some reasons that you should buy the FPV system. As I said before, this is quite a revolutionary product in the industry. So revolutionary in fact that I could compare it to the red and blue pill analogy from the Matrix. If you try the system, you won't ever want to go back to analog. It's that good. So what's the difference between digital and analog in this case? There's really no comparison, but I'll try to put them side by side for you to see how much of a difference this makes. People who have flown drones with analog systems their entire lives have shocking amazed reactions when they see the action camera quality from the goggles directly. There's no static, the details are absolutely incredible, and frankly, this is the only thing that made me want to fly FPV again in the last few months, as I think I finally found the ultimate flying experience simulator. I don't just want to watch the beautiful landscapes in post-processing from my GoPro, I want to be immersed in the experience and feel like a bird while I'm doing it. I want to see all the branches and avoid them, be in awe with the sunset as I dive between some trees in the forest. This is what the DJI FPV system delivers, a lag-free bird's eye perspective that made me happy I can finally experience flight without the risks or costs of flying myself. Unlike other HD FPV systems that suddenly stutter and freeze when signal awakens, the DJI One gradually reduces the resolution of the image so you know what's coming. One disadvantage compared to analog goggles is that your friends can't watch what you're doing at the same time, unless they also have the same goggles, but it was much simpler with analog to hook up your friends to a cheap monitor or goggles and see everything in real time. So what about latency? Does the DJI FPV system have any lag compared to standard analog? This is one of the main concerns of an HD FPV system, as digital signal is more troublesome to send over in real time and tends to have a lot more lag. However, everything changes with this new system. The latency from the radio is about 6 milliseconds, while the lag from the drone to the FPV goggles is about 23 milliseconds, which is super small, similar to what you get from analog FPV. Of course, I wouldn't recommend flying this in really long ranges, because the latency will definitely increase a few kilometers away. There are a few modes that can affect latency and image quality. High quality mode, which is high resolution footage in 60 fps but bigger lag. Low latency mode, lower resolution in 120 frames per second but lower lag. And focus mode feature, which reduces the lag by lowering the bitrate around the edges of the image. What about some negatives of this FPV system? Any HD system has the downside that as the signal gets weaker, you risk losing image altogether. In analog systems, you'll gradually get a worse image and more interference, but will still be able to discern roughly where you are. DJI handles weak signal better than any other HD system, but it can still stutter and freeze from extended range or objects getting between you and it. You can't use any other goggles with it. Being a proprietary system, you won't be able to use any type of goggle with the same camera for you or your friends to see when you're flying, which is a shame. A pair of these goggles aren't that cheap, so it could be a disadvantage if you like sharing things live. Now, let's talk a bit about prices, what packages DJI offers, and if you can buy things separately. There are mainly two configurations that DJI sells us. The DJI Experience combo that gives you the goggles and 2 air units. This is mainly for people who have working quads already bound to their Tyrannus or Spectrum radios but want to use the HD goggles. The DJI Fly More combo, which is what I have, with the goggles, 1 air unit and a controller. If you don't have a controller, I would buy the Fly More combo, but if you have a controller that you like a lot and want to invest less money, I would go for the first option. Don't forget that you can check the current price of the FPV system and the 2 packages down in the description, and also check my full review on it, where I have tables with all the specs and also how to increase the range of the system, if you're curious about that. If you haven't yet decided what drone to buy, I strongly recommend you check my drone searching tool in the description or here at the top, where you can go and filter drones by price and any spec combination you prefer including the battery life you want, the distance, the gimbal, if you want image stabilization or not, if you want it to be under 250 grams, and so on. In the meantime, you can check my latest video right here or the next video right here. If you want me to make more videos like this, it would be a really great help if you'd subscribe and hit the bell notification icon. The YouTube algorithm is also helped by liking this video, so I encourage you to do that if you want to help me. If you want to see all my favorite drones ranked, check the description for more links on that. Thanks for watching and see you later, alligator!